Me, Matt here. You know what time it is.
Me, Matt's right through the night. Daniel's got the size. Wheels of fury on the ground. Engine roaring in the sound. Feel the power, let it rise. With the battle in our eyes. Wheels of fury rolling strong. Together we will carry on.
Hey, me and Matt here. This is Killer Kyle. Welcome to another episode of Wheels of Fury. As we continue on with our look back at year series 2000 with one of the most amazing shows of the year. Well, okay, that's stretching it. No Way Up. WWF.
No, first episode we did was 2000.
Yeah, oh no, it was WCW Bash at the Beach.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Anyways,
It's kind of pathetic when we haven't been doing this for a while, but anyways.
now we got No Way Out 2000.
Yes, if the first episode of this series was negative, this was actually a very good show.
Indeed.
I am biased though, because I was a WWF guy,
Yeah.
and I think that in a way 2000 was an off and on year. Like,
Yeah.
99 was a show, like a year where it was, as I find out years later, a shit show. I actually really enjoyed it. I mean, but 2000, it was like a little off and on because I didn't pay much attention. I would listen, I would actually look at the dirt sheets or whatever, WrestleZone.com
Yeah.
comes to mind. But yeah, I think that 50-year-old Matt was very excited to see what would happen, but unfortunately I didn't watch it as much as I wanted to.
Right, yeah. I feel like you would have had to have been watching at least relatively consistently to not really know what's going on, just be in the loop.
Yeah.
So that way you, like, from one pay-per-view to the next, as far as WWF was concerned, you knew the flow of the storylines and the rivalries and whatnot.
Exactly, and that's just it. And I feel like I wasn't necessarily a casual fan. I was still into the product. I just, not as much as I wanted to.
Yeah.
Like, I remember Cactus Jack coming to the WWF again since 97, and I remember later on down the line, Stephanie McMahon winning the women's title, Generation X turning heel.
Yeah.
But, I mean, so this was a good show. I was obviously, we'll get into it when we get into it, but that was a weird stipulation added to this one.
Right, yeah.
So, here we go. So we start things off with the Intercontinental title. We got Kurt Angle versus Chris Jericho, who was with China.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing that I kind of sort of remember. China was the Intercontinental Champion, beating Jeff Jarrett towards the end of '99, and then Chris Jericho comes in August. And then a little while after that, he hooks up with China, not literally, and
Yeah, exactly.
they have a feud over the Intercontinental title, and then for some reason they become partners.
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure why they did that, but anyways. This is a really good match. I'll throw this out there. Kurt Angle at this point was the European champion.
I was just about to say that. Yes, and it's funny too because the Intercontinental title and the European title this isn't the first time they would meet,
No.
but yes, this was kind of weird because I remember thinking, Kurt's already a champion, why is he going after another championship? But whatever.
Yeah, really.
And this is the year Kurt really shined as well. Like,
Yeah.
this is well into his WWF career. He wins the Intercontinental title. He has the European title as well. And not long after this, he becomes King of the Ring.
Yeah.
But yes, as Kyle said, this was a good match. You have Chris Jericho put the balls of Jericho on Kurt. China somehow gets involved. But yeah, somehow Kurt gets the win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now is both the Intercontinental and the European champion.
Yeah.
Which one? If I remember correctly, I don't think Kurt held the European title for very long after winning the IC title.
Yeah, I'm trying to think that too. And I don't remember who he lost it to.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, he didn't hold on to the titles very long. I don't even think he was the champion when he won King of the Ring, to be honest.
I don't think so.
So, but you know, Kurt was one of those guys too that could also be very funny.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty funny, and I think that's what wrestling needs sometimes. A wrestler that can give you all these emotions, make you laugh, make you cry, make you mad, and Kurt's all of those things.
Oh, yeah.
And being an Olympic wrestler as well.
Yeah. Yeah, Kurt's one of the few guys that picked up wrestling, like the professional wrestling, very, very easily.
Oh yeah.
Like Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar. There's somebody else that was mentioned a while ago that picked it up fairly. Was it Obafemi? That picked it up fairly quickly.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, there are just some people that have that, I don't know, capability of just picking up something like that.
Oh yeah.
Now go on to, for the WWF Tag Team titles, the Dudleys taking on the New Age Outlaws.
Yeah, this was something. And some reason I don't remember this feud. But I think it's interesting to see these two guys. Look at the Dudley boys coming in from ECW. And they have the tie-dye and Bubba Ray stutter.
Yeah.
Which quickly went away, but you know, these guys would be quickly the biggest take team in WWF.
Oh yeah.
And when you look at SummerSlam that year, holy shit, what a ride.
Indeed.
And the New Age Outlaws, we obviously know about them.
Yep.
And what kind of declarated take team that they were, especially the year prior. And it all happened by accident in '97. Rockabilly
Yeah.
and Jesse James.
Yeah,
the roadie. But this was a pretty good match too.
Yeah.
The Dudley Boys ended up stealing the win.
Yeah.
Winning the title.
Go on to Mark Henry taking on Viscera.
Foul!
Big boys.
Yeah. Two big men slapping man meat. Yeah. I mean, this was pretty cool. You look at Mark Henry is one of those guys that if he wanted to, he could still go. But I think he's had too many surgeries now. He doesn't.
I think so, yeah.
Want to continue. He just got back to WWE, by the way. But you look at the guy who was an Olympic wrestler. He shows up in '96, and I thought at that time it was just going to be a one and done deal with him. But he quickly became one of the best wrestlers in WWE, or WWF rather.
Yeah.
Because you look at the Nation of Domination, you look at Sexual Chocolate, which we see here.
Yes.
And yeah, Viscera will eventually adopt that gimmick years later. I just feel like if Nelson Frazier would have, I don't know, taken his body a little bit more seriously, A, he'd still be wrestling, and B, he'd still be fucking alive.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, this was a pretty good match. Mae Young came up, and that was an interesting storyline. But anyways,
Yeah.
somehow Mark Henry got the win. Well, I can't say somehow. Mae Young came in. Yeah.
Yeah, Mae Young got involved, and Viscera pushed her down, and that seemed to piss off Mark, and, well, then Mark beat Viscera. Contenders match with WWF Tag Team Championships as Edge and Christian take on the Hardys with Terry Reynolds.
And I gotta say, for a lot of their matches that they've had over the years, this is a bit lackluster.
Yeah.
I mean, it was okay for what it was, but it was just like, I've seen a lot better from those two, or those four.
Like, when you look at them just have, with this match, your, traditional tag match, was it good? Yes. When you go and compare it to TLC matches, ladder matches, etc., it's not gonna be the same, but you wouldn't expect anything different.
No.
Don't get us wrong. Edge and Christian, the Hardys, have always been really great tag teams and had really great matches against each other. It's just when you go from, your standard for a tag team match to, TLC matches, ladder matches, and, any other stipulation they had against each other. I don't know, a traditional tag matches, not necessarily lackluster, it's just, it doesn't really seem as impressive when you compare it to, the stipulations and matches they've had over the years.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, yes, they would have their first experience with that with the Dudley Boys at SummerSlam that year.
Yeah.
And then they from there. But yeah, when you look at Adam Copeland and Jason Rusko, like,
Yep.
these two guys are still wrestling.
Yeah.
And yes, there was a rumor that Edge was coming back and facing John Cena for his last match, but it didn't happen. And that's okay. I don't know when he's actually planning to return to AEW, but
Yeah, I think he was doing a TV show or a movie or something like that. I seen a while ago.
yeah.
The interesting thing about this was you had Terry turn on the Hardys.
Oh yeah.
It was like, okay. Now, it kind of seemed like she aligned herself with Edge and Christian, but both Edge and Christian were like, okay, what the hell just happened? they're looking at Terry like, okay, why did you do that?
Yeah, Terry was always off and on. Like, you didn't know whether she was going to be a face or a heel, or 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 a commentator.
Yeah,
Like, and I know she had some substance issues as well, and I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but it was just kind of a waste. Like, I know she did the thing with PMS a year prior,
yeah,
but after that, it was just kind of, yeah, she had a fling with Raven a year after this,
yeah.
or maybe it was 2 years after this, I can't remember. But it was like, yeah, I mean, if, if only she could still be in the ring.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we go on to this match. We've got Taz versus Big Boss Man with Prince Albert.
Yes, sir.
Bullshit!
Yeah.
Really? Like, okay, Big Boss Man, a guy that you could, you just brought him back. Like, I think he disappeared for a while after 98, but you just brought him back. And Taz, I don't know if he was the ECW champion at this point, still, but he comes in from ECW. He is wreaking havoc. Whatever. That would have been a perfect pairing, but no, we couldn't do that. We've got to have Albert get involved. And that prevents everything. So, Taz wins. Albert and Boss Man beat up Taz. You often have to wonder, have these people been dropped? Like, was it, were we trying to get one over on Taz because he just came in from another company? Like, come on.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
And I mean, Ray Trailer's better than this. It was better than this.
Yeah.
And I don't think he was in a company much longer. I mean, he came back in, 2000, well, a year later with Booker T.
Right.
And then his untimely death. And then I was like, this was just a waste. I mean, these were two guys. Yes, Taz is kind of short, but these were two strong, muscular men that could go at it.
Oh, yeah.
And you.
No holds barred match. X-Pac versus Kane.
Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting. because Kane did join DX for a while after a stint with the corporation.
Yeah.
And of course, Glenn was made not to speak, so they gave him a voice box. So he's aligned with DX. DX turned heel, but him and X-Pac were still homies, I guess. And then X-Pac turns on Kane.
Yep.
And so this match happens. And it was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, they've had better matches, I'm sure. It's honestly, in my opinion, a forgettable feud.
Yeah.
And it's not to take anything away from Sean Waltman, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to use the term X-Pac heat. But this was a forgettable feud. It wasn't, it wasn't. Like, I don't know how else to explain it.
Like, it wasn't, you know, the worst feud. It also wasn't the greatest feud. It was just a feud that happened.
Like, Tori got involved, X-Pac won.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah. Did I say the show was positive?
Yeah, really. Too Cool versus the Radicals.
Yeah. Talk about another WCW invasion. The Radicals came in, like, okay, so I mean, all these guys had a bunch of problems with WCW.
Yeah.
Like, Benoit even won the world title. And then they left after that, so.
Yep.
Shelf on around, Mick Foley's like questioning them and all that shit. Then they wreak havoc. At one point, during this show anyways, Eddie broke his arm. Not sure why, I can't remember.
It was a, yeah, it went for a frog splash. And when he landed, I thought he dislocated his elbow. Maybe he broke his arm, one of the two. When he landed.
I mean, this was a good match. All these guys got their shit in.
Yeah.
And then Benoit took the stink face.
Yeah.
And yeah, Too Cool won. Of course, doing their dancing routine. I believe that this was another fun tag team, or stable, if you will. I don't know if I want to call it stable, but I mean, Rikishi is a wrestler that basically was like the powerhouse, and then
Yeah.
Too Cool, I don't even know. And once again, it's a shame that Brian Christopher is no longer with us, because
Yeah.
this guy could have been more. But, you know, don't do drugs, kids.
Basically.
Scott Taylor. By the way, that's not his real last name. I didn't know that. But I think he's still a firefighter and wrestles occasionally.
Yeah. Won the title match for the WWF Championship from WrestleMania this year. Big Show versus The Rock.
Yeah. Well, we won't get into WrestleMania 2000.
True.
Or McMahon-mania, as I'll call it.
Exactly.
I think everyone calls it that. So the Royal Rumble happens. I honestly thought the Big Show won, but no, it was The Rock.
Yeah.
Because they were the last two in. I actually thought they did a Lex Luger Bret Hart, but that wasn't the case either.
No.
So, yeah, The Rock won. Somehow this match happens, and yeah, Big Show won with the help of Shane McMahon.
Yep.
As much as I don't even want to know how the fucking feud started. We had all four McMahons in every corner.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Triple H was the WWF champion. Could it not have killed you motherfuckers to put The Rock and Triple H in the main event of WrestleMania? Because we know the Big Show was, well, it was a possibility he wasn't going to win.
Yeah.
But The Rock was the winner of the Royal Rumble, and you did this bullshit, and it sucks. And like, it was a waste. I'm sorry, it was a fucking waste.
Yeah.
So.
Triple H taking on the Cactus Jack
Yes.
inside Hell in a Cell. This match was holy shit.
If you thought the Royal Rumble hardcore match was something, buddy, you were in for a treat. Because, I mean, Mick Foley, and I'll just say it, Mick Foley's the reason why WWE, WWF, whatever the case, was hardcore.
Oh yeah.
You look at Mick Foley and Triple H, you look at Mick Foley and Randy Orton, you look at Mick Foley and Edge, you look at Mick Foley, well, to a certain extent, The Rock.
Yeah.
This guy made WWF as edgy as possible. This match was awesome. I mean, this was a stipulation. If he lost it, this would be his last match.
Yeah.
And I guess a little bit of the backstory is his legs were out or something, and he was just banged up, and Vince was like, well, you just wrestled your last match. Okay, so then this happens. And I honestly thought that Mick was gonna win this match.
Yeah, really.
I mean, why couldn't you give Cactus Jack the WWF title? Like, seriously, if you weren't gonna give him the title at Rumble, then why? Or what you could have done was give him the title at Rumble, and then he could have lost it at no.
Yeah.
But it, you know, whatever, it happened the way it happened. But yeah, and surprisingly enough, most of this match was done inside the cage.
Yeah. I mean, they did have, you know, Triple H getting sent through one of the walls of the cell. You got them on the edge there. You got a pile driver on the announce table. You got them climbing the cage. Mick falling, going through the announce table. Getting back up, clambering on top of the cage with the barbed wire 2x4 or whatever. He's fighting Triple H on top of the cell, lights the thing on fire, hits him with it. They're fighting still. You got a backdrop from Triple H to Foley. He goes through the cell, and hits the canvas, and then creates a fucking crater at the canvas.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Nah, I shouldn't be laughing, but Mick goes through the table and you see Triple H peering over with the crimson mask like, shit, not again.
Yeah. Is he okay?
Yeah.
Is he still alive?
But that's just the kind of person that Mick was. Like, he wanted to give the fans their money's worth.
Oh yeah.
And fuck, he'd do anything.
And he literally did anything.
I mean, they're on top of the cage, and this is like right before Mick falls through it. And there's a 2x4, or maybe it was the barbed wire 2x4.
Yeah.
With fire.
Uh-huh.
That was fucking awesome. Like, yeah, you know, Triple H even pedigreeing Mick through it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that it was kind of like, alright, this was cool. And then of course Triple H won again.
Mm-hmm.
And then classic line from JR, so long buddy. It was nice to know you.
Yeah.
Good luck in your future endeavors. A little old Reno was like years back looking at it going, yeah, good luck. In a few months.
Yeah, exactly.
But once again, there's a guy who fucking gets put in the four-way at WrestleMania 2000. And it's kind of like, did we really need that to happen? Why could not we have The Rock and Triple H in a one-on-one? Yeah, they've had a Iron Man match at Backlash, but holy shit. That would have been much cooler. And it's nice that they brought Mick Foley back. But how long was he there before he once again left?
Yeah, really.
I mean, look at his career, and this guy done it all. Almost. I feel like if Mick was healthier, he could come back. But, well, wisely, he's, you know, doing his own thing.
Yeah.
They actually talked about his concussions in the Chris Van Fleet interview he did. It was like, oh my god. No wonder you're not getting back in the ring.
Yeah, really.
But this was a really good show. And I mean, despite everything else, it's just a nitpick. I feel like 2000 was, I mean, yeah, the beginning of a new decade that it was kind of foreseeing the future with the Dudleys, Edge and Christian, and Hardys.
Oh, yeah.
Seeing Triple H and Stephanie as the McMahon-Holmesley regime, and just everything in between. Like, it was pretty cool. And I just realized this now, no Undertaker.
No.
Oh yeah, because he was up for a while. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll eventually talk about that pay-per-view in another episode.
Yeah.
So this has been another episode of Wheels of Fury.
Yeah.
What a fucking year this has been.
Indeed.
I mean, I know we talked about it last time, and it's like, as we're winding down, it's like, I don't know what else we can do to make this show better.
Yeah.
Like, I know that I've seen a bunch of other editing programs
Right.
that I won't mess around with.
Right.
But, yeah, I think we will do as much as we can. I feel like, I don't know. And I keep saying every year, comment down below and tell us what you want to see. But I just don't get anything.
Yeah. That's the unfortunate part.
But, like always, subscribe to us.
Yeah.
But next time we're with you is going to be World's End, unless we... Well, yeah, it will be World's End, actually. I might be away, and I'll talk about it. In the meantime, and in between time, well, yeah, the year's not over, because we got World's End. We've got New Year's. And check out our holiday special coming up on Christmas Eve. Wait. Yeah, Christmas Eve.